This is Ashley Gatta, and you're listening to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Squeal, groan, kiss, attract, repel. You do them all with your mouth, so pop in a tree ball mint to bring it fresh alive.
That's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
I think we have to go all out. I think this situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part.
It's doggy time.
Spook, where you at? Come here. Come here. That's my good boy. Why you doing? Come here and get us stretches out. Oh my God. Is that you? Oh, what did you get into? Oh my God. We could sell you to the Pentagon for bacteriological warfare. Pause up, my cats and kittens. You are listening to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. I am your host and humble narrator, Bone Doggie, here to remind you that our brows are now bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms are hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings, dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasings of this here our 20th radio show. Now, my cats and kittens, as we are sitting here in the studio on this our indeed 20th radio show, we feel compelled at this time, my cats and kittens, to tell you the absolute truth.
I said I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And that truth is that as we are sitting here, my cats and kittens, Bone Doggie, your humble narrator, is vaping. Yes, that's right. We have gone over to the dark side, my cats and kittens, and have purchased one or two of these electronic contraptions that is apparently going to, one, help us stop smoking, and two, save us a ton of money. Now, I got to say, my cats and kittens, that since I have bought this thing, I have bought, probably about 6 or 7 packs of cigarettes. It's been about a month. And you're talking about somebody who was buying 3 packs of cigarettes a day, 2 for Doggie and 1 for Mama Doggie. As a matter of fact, I probably could have owned stock in several tobacco companies if you really want to pull it down to brass tacks. We started doing the math, and the shock was not unexpected, if it was not unpleasant anyway. So
Let's get to the point.
Right. So we did the math and thought, okay, we're just going to go ahead and make the plunge here. A lot of our friends are doing it. The Duchess, actually, the trombone player for the Hickory Street Hellraisers, Abby Messerly, she is the one that actually got me into this mess. So it was like a challenge, I guess. So I went out and bought one of these guys. And I got to tell you, my cats and kittens, I do not mind the thing, actually. I'm starting to get used to it, I think. There are a couple stogies during the day that, you're just going to miss. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's that first one in the day. I think is the most important one. If you know anything about Bone Doggie, you know that by day we are a humble graphic designer.
Get out of town. I didn't know you did anything creative.
And I work out of the house. So basically, as is ironically with the Doggy Time show, my commute is from one end of the house to the other, which means that my kitchen is my 7-Eleven. And the first conscious acts that we go through every morning is to get up, hit the coffee pot, make a pot of coffee, and grab a cigarette. And that has been the ritual for several 100,000 years. And so now we're trying to break that. So in the morning now, we get up, we make a pot of coffee, and we vape, which, now that I come to tell this to somebody else, that sounds kind of disgusting, really. Hey, what are you doing? I am vaping. What, here in public? No, actually in the privacy of my own home. That type of thing. But I've got to say, in its defense, Bone Doggie can now get through a good 3 hours worth of music without losing his breath, and that's a big deal. That's a very big deal, especially with the circus that we put on. I end up hollering over several Hickory Street Hellraisers, and they can get loud, my cats and kittens. So, that's helped. It really has. And yeah, I am breathing a little bit better, although today we seem to be fighting allergies, but that's neither hither nor thither. I didn't start smoking until I was 19 or 20 years old, oddly enough. Most of my peers and my friends started much, much earlier than that. I actually started, I think it was the first time I went on the road with a rock and roll band. There was nothing else to do, so grab a cigarette. So anyway, we've been doing that for many, 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 many years, and now we are breaking the cycle. And I guess you could call it a personal evolution. All things do eventually go through an evolution. If they don't, you're in serious trouble and need to rethink your strategy. So the part of our personal evolution is, I was going to say revolution. I'm not quite sure this qualifies as a revolution. The personal evolution here is that we have moved on pretty much, not entirely, but we have moved on from the burning of the tar and the just regular smoke thing that goes on. There still is nicotine in this little jewel, from what I understand, and also one or two little ingredients that I guess you can find in albuterol. Those of you that are out there, my cats and kittens, that have asthma know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the stuff that they put in inhalers that you used to be able to get at Walmart until somebody thought it was brilliant to make them only available through a doctor's orders, but you used to be able to go out and get a breather, Primatene Mist or whatever. And then some genius decided that inhalers were actually destroying the ozone layer and contributing to global warming and probably lower gas mileage, really. But that's another rant for another day. So anyway, that's in there, and the nicotine is still in there. I think my problem was, my cats and kittens, is that smoking for Bone Doggie was not so much a habit as it was just pure, unadulterated, 100% good old red, white, and blue American pleasure. I enjoyed smoking. I love smoking a cigarette. After, like I said, in the morning, with a cup of coffee, after a good meal, you want to sit back and burn one. If you sit in a club, which Bone Doggie finds himself doing a lot, then you're gonna go through a good pack of cigarettes sitting there watching your buddies get up there and play or something like that. And I've got to admit, yes, that even when Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers were playing themselves, that at least before the show, there was considerable amount of cigarette smoke on the stage. In fact, at Andy's, people started thinking that it was actually special effects part of the show. There was so much smoke up on the stage, it looked like a bloody fog machine. And now that has dissipated, and which makes, if nothing else, it makes better breathing for at least the lead singer and the trombone player, as a matter of fact. And not only that, but the guitar player has mentioned that Ghost does not smoke, and so, or he does very, very, very seldom. So he's apparently very thankful for this change as well.
You're gonna get your mind right, and I mean right.
Right. So anyway, it's been a little bit of an adventure, my cats and kittens, and if we have a mind to, we will keep you up on our progress as we walk down this road of non-smoking. And I'm not going to say healthier living, because be all and say all at the end of the day, Bone Doggie still got his chicken McNuggets.
Congratulations on your discovery, which may well prove to be among the most significant in the history of science.
And I will be giving those up to nobody. You can take that to the bank.
Hey everybody, this is Karina Michaela. There are a lot of music venues in Denton, but I wanted to take this time to talk really quick about one I care about very much. Banter, a bistro at 219 West Oak Street, is one of the greatest places to play in Denton. From the open mic to CD releases, all of the artists there come together and support each other. The community at Banter is one unlike any other venue. Everyone is always inviting, complimentary, and true friends of every musician there. If you are an artist looking for a community that will embrace you, Banter is certainly the place you need to be. The address again is 219 West Oak Street, and their website is dentonbanter.com. Come hang out, get a sandwich or some hummus, and take in the local Denton music scene. Thursday night is open mic, and you are going to want to check that out. See you then!
May as well enjoy Now, friends, another edition of Bam Bam Cares.
Wear big pants and you'll always be happy. Wear no pants and you'll have to go to court a lot. Bam Bam Cares.
Tune in next week, friends, for another edition of Bam Bam Cares.
All right, my cats and kittens. Now, this week on the Doggy Time Show, either much to your delight or much to your chagrin, we don't have a special guest with us tonight. So basically what we're going to do is Bone Doggie's going to do a little ranting probably, but we're going to play some music, just play some of the favorite tunes that we've got on DentonRadio.com song list. And I think tonight would be fun if we went ahead and started out this week's show with a little tune by Bone Doggie's youngest brother. That'd be Brian Coleman. And we're going to play a tune off of his album called Recover. And this is a tune called Just a Word. And this is a great tune here. It kind of shows you Brian's prog rock roots, but it also shows you his love of the group Big Country. I don't know if you remember them or not, way back in the MTV days. But they did some interesting things with guitars and all that, and Brian latched onto that with both hands. And I guess once he started working on this album, that was the first thing that come to mind. And so here we go. We're going to give a little spin here to Brother Brian Coleman off his CD, Recover. And the tune is called Just a Word. And you are listening to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. Can you dig it? I knew that you could.
calls you a hero. and use it to justify themselves. I think it makes me feel so bitter. It's just a word. It come out and see that sails. Well, come out and see that sails. The heroes lie beneath the ground. There are no heroes walking around. We came back home, but we lost and found. 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 Lost and found. We lost and found. Lost and found. Yeah, we lost and found. We little lost and found. Yeah, we lost and found. We lost and found. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're lost and found.
Doggy time.
Doggy time.
Doggy time.
Doggy time.
Doggy time.
It's doggy time.
Paws up, my cats and kittens. This is your host and humble narrator, Bone Doggie, here to remind you that every Tuesday night at 8 p.m., Doggy Time sets fire to the airwaves on DentonRadio.com by bringing you news and information, innuendo, murder, mayhem, and the best of Denton music, not to mention the humor, love, and insight straight from the lights of Backwater Opera, Soul Tax, Ashley Gatta, and of course, the occasional Hickory Street Hellraiser, just to name a few. Now we know that as we suffer the day-to-day slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, my cats and kittens, you can't always bank on being in front of one of these digital contraptions every Tuesday night. Well, old Bone Doggie is here to caress your ear bones with a bit of joyous news. You can hear Doggy Time anytime simply by going to DentonRadio.com and clicking the button on our player that is sporting the visage of yours truly. Or if you want the direct route, visit our blog at DentonRadioblog.com and click the Doggy Time button there. And as an extra bonus, my cats and kittens, you will also have the past episodes of Doggy Time at your fingertip. Paradise is but a mouse click away. So feel free, my cats and kittens, to sit back, relax, and at your leisure, listen to Doggy Time anytime on DentonRadio.com. Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I can dig it.
I can dig it.
I can dig it.
We can dig it.
I knew that you could.
Help! Help! I've been trapped in the nuclear bomb by the evil Dr. Keelox!
Never fear, my dear. Superman is here.
Oh, Superman, you've come to save me! Oh, thank you! Oh, who are you?
I'm Batman.
Well, well, if it isn't the Cape Crud Satyr, what are you doing here, Bat Rat?
Oh, I thought she might like to be rescued by someone who wasn't dressed in blue long johns.
Ha! That's pretty rich coming from a guy dressed like a heavy metal Tootsie Roll. Look, I got this, so ain't you supposed to be somewhere?
Well, actually, yeah. I was headed down to Denton to hear some live music.
Kidding me?
You know, sounds like a pretty good idea. Do you mind if I tag along?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hey, I got the car.
I love the car! Hey, tell you what, first round's on me if you let me drive.
Hey, you two idiots! Someone wanna come help me here?
Get Spider-Man to do it.
Yeah, he's only got 3 movies, but I bet he's not busy.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Wait! Come back! You get back here! You jerks!
And we'd like to remind you, my cats and kittens, that this information was not solicited. We got it off the internet. So if it is not entirely correct, it ain't our fault. So, without further ado, let's see. At Rubber Gloves Rehearsal Studio, which is 411 East Sycamore Street, if anybody's paying attention. On Wednesday, the 13th, we got Bobby Jealousy, Shivery Shakes, and the Pharaohs. That show's going to start at 10 p.m. The cost is $5 if you are over 21 and $7 if you are under 21. And apparently you have to be 17 years of age to get in, apparently. And let's see, on Saturday, the 16th, we've got Red Fang is going to be up at Rubber Gloves, and that's at 9 p.m. That cost is going to be $10 if you are under 21. Oh, I'm sorry, $10 if you are over 21, and $12 if you are under 21. And there is a 17-plus age limit on that one as well. At Andy's Bar and Grill on 122 North Locust Street in Denton, Texas. That's right on the square there. Thursday, the 14th, the Wee Beasties, Bug Chaser, and the Atom Age. So that ought to be quite the raucous evening, my cats and kittens. That show is going to start at 8 p.m., and the cost is $5 if you are under 21 and $7 if you are over 21. And there is a 18-year-old age limit on that little soiree. All right, then at Dan Silverleaf, 103 North Industrial Street. This is Friday, June 15th. We got TV Girl, which is a great name for a band. I love that, TV Girl. And good old friends, Peopleodian, going to be back over there at Dan's, along with Goldilocks and The Rock. The doors are at 9 p.m. The show's going to start at 10 p.m. The price is $7 in advance and $10 at the door. This is an all-ages show, and you can go on Dan Silverleaf website and buy tickets in advance if you want. And then Saturday, June 16th, Danny Rush and the Designated Drivers, Warren Jackson Hearn and Lalique Electrique. I'm going to say that again. Warren Jackson Hearn and Lalique Electrique. Ain't that unique? And the New Science Projects, and of course Pageantry, which is formerly the Roy Robertson Band. Those doors are at 9 p.m. and the show is at 10 p.m. and the price is 7 big ones. And let's see, down at Banter, 219 West Oak Street. Oh, I forgot. I don't know if I said that Dan Silverleaf is 103 North Industrial Street or not. If you're going to Dan Silverleaf, you're going to find it on 103 North Industrial Street. I don't think they have moved it. Maybe a couple feet over to the left, but we don't talk about that. All right, so back to Banter, which is 219 West Oak Street. On Friday night, June 15th, at 6 to 7, we got Jazz with Austin Bird. At 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Chuck Vollinger. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., we got Smokin' Joe Stack. He's a good friend of Bone Doggies. If you have never seen Joe, he's a good performer. He's a good singer-songwriter. Comes from a musical family, as a matter of fact. And if Joe is playing, their chances are some of the family is going to be up there with him. And, of course, at 10 p.m. to 11:45, we got Band on the Wire. And that's on Friday night. And then Saturday night at 6 p.m., we got Jazz with the Mara Penitzer Trio. I guess that Penitzer, P-E-N-A-T-Z-E. Mara is going to be up there with her trio, or his trio, at 6 p.m. And then, of course, at 8 p.m. to 9:45, or maybe even the rest of the evening, you never know, good old Johann Wagner is going to be up there at Banter. He, an old Dentite from way back. I think he moved to Austin, and he flips through town every now and then. And then finally at Haley's, which is 122 Mulberry Street, let's see, Thursday on the 14th, the group 1945. And I just love that name. That's an awesome name. I would love to see that band. I may stick my head in the door up there Thursday night. It's 10 p.m. is the show. The cost is $5 and $10 if you are over 21. And then, of course, Friday, 6:15, that is Friday the 15th, we've got My Kick Drum Heart, Vagabond, which is a newer band. That's Alex Adams' bunch, and I've been waiting to watch Vagabond for quite a while. I've seen them one time. They do have a CD on the way, and we are anxious to get them into the playlist here at DentonRadio.com. And then, of course, Matthew Grigsby and the Merry Monsters. And to round off the evening, my cats and kittens, Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers will finally burn down the stage. This is at Haley's, Friday the 15th. The show will start, My Kick Drum Heart will start about 10 p.m. And the cost is $5 at the door, $7 if you are or under 21. And there is an age limit. It is all ages. And, yep, even my mama can come out and see Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers. So it ought to be a good evening. That's going to be a good rock and roll evening with a little bit of folk thrown in there and a little bit of jazz and a little bit of murder and mayhem. So be quite the smorgasbord of music to listen to over there at Haley's that night. And of course, I'd like to remind you that there's a couple open mics here in town. We've got the open mic over at the Garage. You go on thegarage.com and register for that one. And from what I understand, they're still having the open mic over at Love Shack on Wednesday night. And, of course, the open mic on Thursday night at Banter. The list goes up at 7 o'clock, my cats and kittens, and it is full by 7:06. So you need to be there at 7 o'clock to stand in line, queue up with everybody else, sign your life away, and get in on that one. And that's all we got now for the gig schedule this week. I think it's about time that we played some music here. And so we're going to go into our magic treasure trove of tunes here and see what we can find to play. And actually, I think Bone Doggie's in the mood for a little bit of guitar, my cats and kittens. They hear a little hot picking right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag up Brother Rance Parrott, or Mr. McCaw, as he calls himself now, and his tune called What It Do. And you are listening to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. Can I dig it? I can dig it. I knew that I could.
They say you never seen it before. You never believe what you say, what you say. I think I'm never gonna give it my sleeve, no. And that's what it do, what it do. Like I said, this ain't like the blue boy, this is more like the red, yeah. So don't you, won't you, can you find out, oh hell yeah. And I continue my wobble as I stumble down the stairs. I can't feel my leg, but you know that I'll be there, yeah. 'Cause that's what it do, what it do. And like I said, this ain't like the blue man, this is more like the red, yeah. So don't you, won't you, can you find out, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna find out for you. Oh, that's what it do, yeah. I already knew, yeah. Oh, let me tell you, yeah, let me tell you now. And it's taking my hands like I knew it would, giving me a lies that I never would, holding me down. Oh, say yourself. Oh, say yourself. I know my baby this again and making up minds, oh, giving up a reason for taking up time. Oh, who are you to judge? What are you? Yeah. Oh, yeah, what the hell are you? I'm coming around trying to make a mess out of me. I better watch you, better keep my eye on you, 'cause there's a world in you. That's what I do, yeah. That's what I do. And I say I don't care. I'm gonna roll in my sleeve. I'm gonna fade away. Yes, I'm gonna leave. 'Cause that's what they do, what they do. And like I said, this ain't like the blue boy, this is more like the red, yeah. So don't you can't find out, oh yeah.
All right, that was Brother Rance Parrott and What It Do on Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. And it is now time, cats and kittens, for a little rant. We have a little rant here. And actually, it's kind of a serious rant. As in all things, I guess you could say, plus la change, plus c'est les mêmes choses, which basically means the more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm not sure I agree with that. We've actually had a little bit of news in the Bone Doggy camp, and that is that Bam Bam, my son, Carrick Bam Bam Coleman, has announced that come August, he is going to be going to school full-time and working full-time, which means that he will have little time for the Hickory Street Hellraisers. Now, the significance of this by cats and kittens, aside from the fact that this is Bone Doggy's eldest son, only son, as a matter of fact. I got one boy and one girl. And the significance of this is that not only is he my son, but also Bam Bam is an original member of the Hickory Street Hellraisers. And that dates back nigh on a good 10 years, my cats and kittens. And that is a very, very long time for the life of any group or band or musical ensemble. And really what it does is it kind of brings to the forefront a lot of emotion. I mean, you know, the fact that it's an original member that is making the leave, and two, the rest of the band is going to have to deal with this. And I think that was one of the things I want to talk about, the life of a band. You know, I've been doing this for several 100,000 years now and have been through just about every scenario that you could possibly imagine, my cats and kittens, when it comes to the life of a band, and have been in just about every position, from the lowly guy back in the corner that really doesn't say a whole heck of a lot, if you can picture that in your mind, to actually being a band leader and what that means. And I know a lot of you guys out there that are musicians that listen to this show. We talk about this from time to time when we're out running around or sitting in a bar, knocking back a few cold ones and puffing on one of these electronic contraptions. And we talk about, you know, what it is to be a leader of a band. We talk about what it is to be a band member and things like that. And it is emotional, yes, but at the same time, you know, you could sit back and look at it and say, yeah, this is a business and life goes on. And I think that's the most important thing during the course of a life of a band, is that indeed life goes on, as long as the main core is remains intact after whatever change takes place. We witnessed that with our good friends 1140 here not too long ago, when they literally lost their drummer. Our good friend Casey Sparks went home, and they were left without a drummer. And aside from the emotional impact of actually losing a band member who passed away, now they've had to go through the emotional impact of replacing said band member. And that's something to take into consideration. You know, you play with somebody, you get to know them, and just looking at it objectively. Let's say we're looking at it from Bone Doggie's perspective here, and let's say this is not my boy. This is my bass player. This is Bam Bam, and we're losing Bam Bam. Well, now we've got to replace Bam Bam. The first thing that actually came to mind for this situation was, okay, we are not going to find another Bam Bam. What we are going to have to do is find another Hellraiser. And I think that was very key to saying, okay, here we go, we're going to move on now. And I got to admit, Cats and Kittens, that I was prepared to go on a search for the proper bass player for the Hickory Street Hellraisers for 6 months. I just knew that was going to happen, but lo and behold, heaven smiles on us from time to time, and we actually come up with a guy almost immediately. Knock wood, knock wood. We picked up on brother Greg Beach, who's actually been on this show once or twice, and he's a comedian. He also is come to find out, one blazes good bass player. So we were really fortunate. I remember the night that Bam Bam and I had the talk, we sat in his driveway at his apartment complex, and he told me what he wanted to do, and as his daddy, I said that was great. Go to work, go to school, get your act together. You got a wife, you got a household, you got that was little yappy dog you got to take care of, so go get your business together. It ain't the end of the world. I know where you're at, and so we talked about that, and everything was cool. It's an amicable move, and it's, like I said, as far as Bam Bam's daddy's concerned, it's a great move. As far as Bone Doggie is concerned, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But I got home and got in my driveway, and I thought, well, I'll just text Greg. And so I texted him. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and he responded immediately. And I guess he sat down with me and Ghost about 2-3 days later, and we went through a rehearsal and just kind of played through some tunes and everything. And last week, my Cats and Kittens, was the acid test, which was Greg actually came in and did a Bone Doggie rehearsal. Now, our rehearsals are a lot like the Bataan Death March, if you can imagine. They're brutal. We work really, really hard. We throw things at each other. We cuss each other. We argue musical theory till it just makes you sick. Well, some of us do, and some of us just say, shut up and play it. That's the way I wrote it down, so there's that whole dichotomy there that you kind of work on. But in the interim time, Greg come in and he sat down with us, and everything gelled. He passed the Duchess test, which is big. But more importantly, and this is very important for a band, my Cats and Kittens, if you get a new bass player, find out how the drummer feels about it. Because the bass player and the drummer are a unit. They're going to work together. They're like a pitcher and a catcher. And so they've got to be able to function. They've got to be able to communicate. And in our case, Brother Greg come in and just him and Chris immediately, him and El Chupacabra, they immediately hit it off and gelled pretty good, And El Chupa's seal of approval was, yeah, he did all right. So that's that was the seal of approval from Brother Chris Cordell, El Chupacabra. And, of course, he got Bone Doggie's seal of approval, which is, that totally didn't suck. So Brother Greg is now working his way to be on board with the Hickory Street Hellraisers. And Bam Bam is working his way on going out. So life does go on, my Cats and Kittens. It does move on. And you're all the more fortunate for it, because the upswing, I think, of this, and when you are replacing a band member or something like that, this is something to keep in mind. You bring in some fresh blood. The Hickory Street Hellraisers have been banging their head against the wall for a good 4 to 6 to 8 years to 10 years. And, now we've got a little bit of new blood coming in the door. It's been a very long time since we've actually replaced a band member. And so, we've got some fresh blood. We've got some fresh enthusiasm coming in the door. And we just think it's going to be a positive, And we are going to miss Bam Bam terribly, my Cats and Kittens. If you know Carrick, if you've ever watched him play, he is quite the unique bass player. There's nobody that sounds like this guy. There's nobody that plays like this guy. And he has also been a great backup front man for Bone Doggie. When I got to step back and get a drink of water or take a shot of whiskey or something like that and catch my breath, Carrick automatically step right up there. So this is a unique talent that we're losing, my Cats and Kittens. But fingers crossed, we're going to work hard at it. And I think that you are actually going to get to see Brother Greg. His debut gig will be Twilight Tunes up at the Square on June 28th, Thursday, June 28th, about 6:30. And he's been tasked with working up the entire set. And if you've seen Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers by Cats and Kittens, you know that is not a particularly easy set, but he seemed to fit right in. So, we're going to throw him to the wolves. And here's another point. As a band leader, I've got to admit, and I will admit, I love throwing these guys to the wolves. That's the acid test. You're going to be a musician. You're going to come in here. You're going to play. Then I'm from Missouri. Show me. I'm going to run you through some rehearsals. You're going to get the gigs ready. You're going to get yourself all in a kind of a psychic mode and get yourself into an emotional state. And then, bam, you're up on stage. You're going to have to perform, and you are going to have to, quote, totally not suck. So the thing is, that type of situation, my Cats and Kittens, in a band setting, sometimes that brings out the best in a musician, because you're putting them in a situation to where they've got to think, they've got to rise up to the occasion, because a band is indeed a working unit, and if you are going to join a band, you need to fit yourself into that unit. And so it's not an easy thing. Some bands, they have musicians come in and go and come and go and come and go. They hire people every different week, and they all read charts and things like that. This is a whole different world, my Cats and Kittens. This is a little bit more of an emotional investment and a little bit more of a psychological, if I may use the term, investment, for the simple reason is it is not a typical sit down and read the sheet music gig. Basically, you have to learn this music, and then you have to take that music that you have learned how to play and make it your own. And that's not only with the Hellraisers, it is particularly with the Hellraisers, but it's not only with the Hellraisers, but it is with many, many bands around in town. And if you know some of these bands like I do, there's a heck of a lot of us by Cats and Kittens that play in this manner. There's a heck of a lot of bands out there that have this same philosophy, and I think that is one of the things that creates the magic that is Denton music. And Denton music is incredibly special. And you have a wide dichotomy. You have the school of thought, literally, and then you have this other school of thought is where you have the emotional and psychological investment too. So you have a wide variety of different types of musicians, different musicians that have been trained differently, musicians that have learned differently, and musicians that play differently. And so as we are out there and we keep this music going, and it is, again, and I'm going to reiterate this, very, very, very special music. As we are out there doing this, one of the things you've got to learn, and one of the things you've got to deal with, and even Bone Doggie has to learn this from time to time, is that you got to roll with the punches. But the main thing is to keep it going. If you got the core together, you keep it going. Take the new blood, add a new dimension to it. Say bygones, bygones, we'll see you later, we'll catch you on the flip side, that type of thing. Embrace the new ones, bring them in, and add some new blood, add some new excitement, add some new life to your group. And I think that is what contributes, bottom line, I think that's what contributes to the longevity of a group. My Cats and Kittens is being able to do that. It is emotional, yes, it is psychological, but it's not necessarily a tap of water that you could turn off, but it is something that you can definitely adjust to and to move on with progress. So I hope this rant makes sense. I'm kind of winging it as I go along, but it's something that's been on my mind for a while now, because I have been watching bands go through a lot of transitions. This has been a busy year for Denton music as far as the local groups concerned, and I don't know, maybe it's just because I've been tied to so many of them so closely, but I watched Levi Cobb get new members and do a complete revamp. Kim Nall, Birdie Nall, our lovely Birdie Nall, somebody that we are very fond of and love very dearly, joined up with Levi Cobb, and once again, Jesse Thompson had made a brilliant decision in bringing her in. She's a great fit. She not only adds the female element to that band, but she is also an excellent, excellent singer-songwriter in her own right, which just makes them even more stronger. I watched Matt Grigsby, who has been on this show before, once just a folk singer is basically all it is. Well, he went out and built a band, and has now immediately gone through band member changes and things like that, and I've watched him grow up a little bit. I've watched Vagabond, who we're going to be playing with here at the end of the week. I watched them basically put a band together and get it in the studio, and of course, once again, I watched 1140 go through the change that they had to go through, that they were forced to go through, and they did it with flying colors. The band is in good shape. They do have a new drummer. I'm not sure exactly what his name is. I know the guy. He's about 8.5 foot tall. You cannot miss this young man. He only weighs 50 pounds. I cannot wait to see him behind a set of drums because I know it's going to be all arms and legs. But I will find out his name, and we'll be talking about them soon. But, I talked to Devin Edelman, who's got the big band that plays up at Abbey Underground all the time. And Devin gets new musicians just about every week. He just hollers, whoever can make it, they come and they sit down, they read the charts, and they are no less hot, my cats and kittens, than some of these other groups that get together and rehearse all the time and do that. That Devin's bunch has got a different mindset. It is a perfectly legitimate mindset, and it is, for them, it's a brilliant mindset, so it works out for them. Going through change is just part of the life of Denton music, and going through change is, like I said, by and large, bottom line, is not necessarily a bad thing. You just have to know, I guess, how to capitalize on the whole situation. So that was my rant about bands and change, and you can write that one down, send it to the bank, and not make any money off of it like the rest of us. Well, I think it's about time that we had a tune here, my cats and kittens. No, you know what? I love the skits that we do on the Doggy Time Show, and just because, and since I am sitting here all by my lonesome, except for the Dalmatian under my feet, I can pretty much do what I want to, and I'm going to. I love to do these little skits before we do the gig schedule, and this is one that sometimes I just go back and listen to because I like to hear it. So I'm gonna play one for you here. I did this one with brother Bob Ralph, who is works over there at Banter. He come in one day and we did this skit, and we had a heck of a time getting through it because we spent so much time laughing. So it's a cool little skit, and it's about live music in Denton, of course, and it is also about being inventive.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Inventor's Corner, where we bring you a glimpse into the exciting world of new technology. I'm your host, Ralph Roberts, and our special guest today, Mr. Hiram Dinkfelder. Now, Mr. Dinkfelder, what exciting new inventions do you have for us today?
Well, how do you do, Mr. Roberts? First, I would like to thank you very much for having me on your show, and I think it would be interesting to remind your listening audience that we have never worked together before.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Dinkfelder. Now, if we could just have a look at your new invention.
Well, Mr. Roberts, my exciting new invention is a handy-dandy little household item that I like to call the automatic bread crispier. As you can see here, it is quite compact and self-contained.
Wait just a minute. This is your invention?
Oh, yes, indeed, Mr. Roberts. Now, all you have to do is to plug this into the wall and insert any slice of standard household bread into this slot here on top, and then press down this little lever here on the side.
Mr. Dinkfelder.
Yes.
Mr. Dinkfelder.
Yes.
That's a toaster.
No, Mr. Roberts, it is a bread crispier. Although, that name is rather catchy. I might use that. I like that.
No, Mr. Dinkfelder, it's a toaster. A common household toaster. It's still got the brand name on it, for God's sakes.
Oh, no, Mr. Roberts. That is actually a plaque with my two sons' names, Blake and Decker. Unfortunately, the E fell off.
Right. Well, let's move on here, shall we? What else have you got?
Well, Mr. Roberts, my next invention is a bit more ethereal, if I may use the term.
Yeah, I'll bet.
My next invention is what I like to call live Denton music.
Live Denton music?
Yes, this is a system of entertainments that I've arranged in the town of Denton, where patrons can visit a place of purveyance and listen and watch live music, performed by a virtual myriad of talented individuals I have employed.
You're just a huge fraud, aren't you?
Not only that, but listening to live Denton music gets your shirts shades wider and actually improves your gas mileage. So
you call yourself an inventor, and then you waltz in here with a Black & Decker toaster, and then claim to have invented live Denton music?
I can assure you, Mr. Roberts, that these inventions are legitimate. I have a certificate from the University of Waterloo in Australia. I took a correspondence course there.
Look, just get your junk and get out of here, all right?
What about the bus fare you promised me?
You're getting nothing except a bill for the last 15 minutes of my life you wasted. Just get out.
But I didn't get to tell the audience about my latest invention. It's called Space Phase.
All right, that kills me. I love listening to that. It tears me up every time I hear it. All right, my cats and kittens, that's about what we have time for this week, or about what we can come up with anyway. Tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel, which would probably be Tuesday at 8 p.m. for another headlong leap into the conundrum of radio station legendary. How about that? All right. So anyway, as always, my cats and kittens, we'd like to invite you to keep listening to DentonRadio.com, speaking of radio legendary, and tune in for a new Doggy Time show, as I just said, next week. And if you want to listen to Doggy Time anytime, you can just click on the Doggy Time button on our DentonRadio.com player, and that will take you to our blog at DentonRadioblog.com, where you will also be able to hear past episodes of the show, which is always fun. I go back and listen to those every now and then just to make sure I don't do anything twice. Fat chest. You can also find Denton Radio on Facebook. So leave us a post on the wall. Tell us how much you love the show. And if you didn't love the show, then lie and tell us how great it was anyway. But by and large, up and down, bottom, left and right, spread the gospel, my cats and kittens. Tell your friends and loved ones, if you want to, about Doggy Time and DentonRadio.com. We support local here at DentonRadio.com, and we do hope that you do too. Now, we're going to go out the show with one of my favorite tunes by one of my favorite groups. This, of course, is Backwater Opera. My kids, I love these guys dearly. And probably one of my favorite tunes that they do. It's kind of a funky little song. It's called 35 BC. Auf Wiedersehen, so long, farewell. We will catch you on the flip side, my cats and kittens. Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I knew that you could.